We have a huge amount going for us, and those 2.5 billion Commonwealth citizens, many of them would dearly love to start free trade deals with the United Kingdom. So I genuinely think that the future is very bright. And Brexit apart, we're also standing on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution. All of the incredible innovations in life sciences, artificial intelligence, robotic technology, gaming technology, the Internet of Things, the extraordinary advances that the UK, for the first time perhaps since the first industrial revolution, we are in pole position to take advantage of. So the world, as far as I can tell, is incredibly bright for the United Kingdom once we leave the EU. But at the same time, this is where the complication is that we do recognise, and the Prime Minister certainly recognises, that for the last 43, 44 years now, we've been a part of a European Union that's meant we have uniquely close ties, not just economic ties where we've got complicated supply chains and many UK businesses, small and large, trading with European nations exclusively. So you've got the complexities of supply chains and ongoing relationships, but you also have the very close ties, whether it's in security, intelligence, whether it's in universities collaborating together, whether it's in research projects, whether it's in even regulatory systems like those that regulate medicines and those that check on food products. All of those things over a very long time have built up between the UK and the EU. And so it's extraordinarily difficult to be part of Europe but not in Europe, which is what the Prime Minister's deal is seeking to do. And that is why I back it. So as somebody who believes our future is so much better when we leave the EU, I absolutely recognise that what we need to do is to remain with as close links as we can for trading, for security, for research, for delivery of a bright future for everybody. But what that doesn't mean is that we want to remain shackled to Europe, doing exactly what they do, allowing our free trading arrangements to be determined by them, our rules determined by them, having free movement, which has caused some concerns in the United Kingdom. So the balance of the Prime Minister's deal, where we are leaving the EU, we're taking back control of our money, laws and borders, we won't be paying into their budgets, free movement will end, we'll be able to write our own free trade deals, we will not have the European Court of Justice presiding over UK rules any further once we're out of the implementation period. That's the deal that the Prime Minister is seeking to achieve, whilst at the same time trading freely with no tariffs and no non-tariff barriers with our EU friends and neighbours, collaborating on security and intelligence, keeping all of our people safe. So I am a huge supporter of the Prime Minister's deal. And now coming on to the politics of it, you will all be only too aware that in Parliament there are members of Parliament with very differing views. Some want to have a second referendum, some want to just reverse the Brexit decision of the people because they think it's not in the interests of the United Kingdom. Some want to just delay leaving the European Union in the hope that something comes up. Others want to negotiate a separate sort of deal, EFTA, which is the Norway-style deal, where in effect you'd still have free movement and you'd still be a rule taker, but you'd be out of some of the EU's policies. For me, we have to deliver on the referendum, and the Prime Minister's deal has that balance between delivering on the referendum and at the same time keeping the close relationship that's in all of our interests. So Parliament is faced this week with the very big decision again of whether to support the Prime Minister's deal. As you'll be aware, a couple of weeks ago the Parliament voted to reject the idea of delaying Article 50. They also voted to support an amendment to the Prime Minister's deal that would in effect give the UK the unilateral right to get out of the backstop, which is this measure to protect the border in Northern Ireland. And what Parliament voted for was to ditch that, either in favour of alternative arrangements or to make it time limited. So what the Prime Minister is doing right now is trying to negotiate with the European Union an alternative to the backstop, or a time limit on the backstop. And that is proving very difficult. And this week, Parliament will come back on Thursday, and if the Prime Minister has made some progress, we'll be voting again on her deal, subject to the changes that she's been able to negotiate. And if she hasn't got so far as to negotiate changes, we will simply be voting to carry on working on achieving those changes. But in Parliament, I can tell you it's pretty miserable at the moment. People are pretty divided, and so it's absolutely vital that we come to a decision soon. And that's what I'm working on, talking to colleagues of all parties right across Parliament, trying to persuade them that we need a deal. People need certainty, they want to move on. Because for me, the best thing that we can do is leave on the 29th of March, put this behind us, and then start to come back together so that people can stop thinking about it and worrying about it. They'll know where they're headed, and the country can at last start to take advantage of the huge opportunities that lie ahead of us. So that's it from me, and I'm delighted to take all your questions. Jake is going to hand around a microphone, and then Ian, if necessary, will repeat the question if you haven't heard it. So yeah, if you didn't hear the question, and then I'll answer them on any topic. Thank you.